All right, we're going to kick it off in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the next episode of the Hustle Radio Show. I am James Chapman. Thank you for tuning in today. Of course, I got my people in the studio with me. Got my man KJ in the building. KJ, what's up, man?
What's good? What's poppin'?
Yeah. Tanisha behind me today. Tanisha, what's going on, shawty?
What's good? What's up, Chattanooga?
Yeah. So, today is a really important topic. We're going to be talking about your personal brand. A lot of times people underestimate how powerful a personal brand is and how far a personal brand can take you. And so today we really just want to kind of narrow in and discuss some of those things on bad personal brand, good personal brand, on what your personal brand can do for you, and how to utilize your personal brand and take your personal brand up to another level so that you can get that much closer to trying to achieve the goals that you have in mind. But before we get into all of those type of things, we got to throw it to my man KJ with the quote of the day. KJ, let's hear it.
All right. We're talking about personal branding today, so I just kind of want to focus on that a little bit, man. I think it's some certain things we can do, man, to go ahead and move forward to establish our brand. I think a couple of those things are thinking it into existence.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Speaking it into existence, writing it into existence, and working it into existence.
Love that.
So I think that concept or those concepts, I think it really works with your brand, man. Because if you can think it, you can work it.
Yeah.
It can come to fruition for you. Like it's one of those things, man, where it's a law of attraction for you, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
building your brand is based on it, man.
Yeah.
The work you put into it, your thought process.
And you have to first figure out, what do you want your personal brand to be? How do you want to be perceived? How do you want people to look at you, and how do you want people to be attracted to you? And so if you think about those things first and write them down and then put them into action, that's going to get you that much closer to being able to make your personal brand out to what you want it to be. T, I know that you had a dope It's Lit.
Thank you.
As always, why don't you share with the people what you discussed on It's Lit this past week?
Okay, you guys can check it out on the Hustle Radio's Facebook page. I posted on Wednesday, and I just kind of kept it simple with what I typed, and it was keep building your brand, because a lot of people build one and then they stop, and this is why it's so important. I just put a couple of quotes in here and a couple of images, but the first one says, how you look plus how you speak plus how you act equals your personal brand. So that kind of piggybacks back off of what KJ was just speaking about. What you think, what you write, what you do, that is your brand. So if you don't like what you see, you might need to make some changes there. And then also, I really like this one, is accept that you are a brand. Because people think, well, I'm not a brand. Like, I'm an accountant at a bank, or I just do this. But you do have a personal brand. So you have to kind of accept that. You want to be known. You want to be preferred. You want to be profitable. You want to be useful. And you want to be valued. So accept that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have a hard time accepting that for some reason. And then another reason why it's important to have a personal brand is that you can be so good that they can't ignore you.
Yeah.
And so that's huge. Once you have a personal brand and you're out there, you're so good at what you do that no one can take that from you. They can't ignore that you're doing great at what you do. So if you have a brand, keep building it. If you didn't think you have one, I hope you've now been informed that whether you're an entrepreneur or not, you do have a personal brand.
Yeah, and it's funny because, even those people who aren't entrepreneurs, what happens is, and I remember you and I kind of discussing this before the show, is what do people say about you when you leave the room?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what personal brand is all about. If when you leave the room, people say, you know what, I really like that dude. You know what I mean? I know I can rely on that person. Or if you leave the room and people are like, man, we might need to double back on him because he might not get that done. I know the last couple times he ain't really got done. Or he just be blowing smoke. He really say he gonna do something, but he never come through it and get it done. You know what I'm saying? And so all of those things, your personal brand is not just how you look. It's not just dressing the part. Your personal brand is dressing the part, but it's also action. You can't just look the part and not fulfill that. You have to be able to back those things up with action. So a lot of times people say, oh, first impressions are so important, and I make sure I wear a suit and tie and all this kind of stuff. But if you never follow through and with your commitments and things of that nature, that's also ruining your personal brand.
Yes.
And so like I think that's very important. One thing that people should know is the easiest way to build your personal brand and know what your personal brand is, and as we're thinking about this, is how people know, like, and trust you. All right, you got to get people to know, like, and trust you. So
trust is huge.
The trust is
trust
huge.
Is like the biggest one.
The trust is the biggest one. The trust is the biggest, and so getting people to know you is number one. Getting yourself out there. All right. So yeah, that is maybe dressing nice and all of that kind of stuff. That's just getting you on the scene. That's getting people to know you. Right. That's the front. That's the surface. But getting people to like you, the only way you can get people to like you is if they're familiar with you. Oh, I see something in this person that I'm familiar with or that I like. Okay, yeah, we have an attraction there.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate to this person. That's how you get somebody to like you. But as far as trust, the only way that you can get people to trust you is if you do what you say you're going to do. You have to be able to follow through. The moment that you start saying that you're going to do things and you don't do them, now people don't trust you. The moment that you, that's right. And the moment you start sending mixed messages, that's the very moment that people are not going to be able to trust you. It's just like you got to think about your personal brand, how you think about relationships. When you pursuing that young lady, first you trying to get to know her. Then you trying to get her to like you.
You hear his voice change?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? First you got, you wanted to know you. So I pause. I ain't been looking at KJ. I just, let me turn to the other side so KJ don't feel uncomfortable. But first you got to get her to know you. So when you go out on that first date, you gonna put on your best threads and all that kind of stuff. Then you want her to like you. You know what I'm saying? And so you may talk about all your accomplishments, the things that you've done, the things that you're pursuing and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, trust can only be built if you get beyond the surface. If you really start to focus on what is at its core and be able to build a connection with those types of things. All right? So you got to be it's not just knowing, it's not just liking, but it's trusting. If you get those three things intact, then your brand is going to be solid. It's going to be really solid. By the way, got to shout out our sponsors, man. The first sponsor that I want to shout out is Bridge Financial Planning. If you guys are having issues with your personal finances and you want to get those in order, definitely reach out to Bridge Financial Planning because they can help you with that. They are a fee-only financial planning and investment management company. I love the owner of that company. You talk about know, like, and trust. I know her. I like her. I trust her. She does great work. Reach out to her at 423-596-4456 for a no obligation, no cost meeting. Again, that's Bridge Financial Planning, and tell her the Hustle Radio sent you. Her name is Jennifer Harper. Make sure you ask for Jennifer when you call over at Bridge Financial Planning. If you want to go and look further into Bridge Financial Planning, just go to bridgefinancialplanning.com. That's BRIDGE financialplanning.com, and make sure that you ask for Jennifer Harper and tell her that the good folks over at the Hustle Radio sent you. And if you want to give them a call, that's 423-596-4456, Bridge Financial Planning. So let's get back into the discussion on personal branding. Tanisha, I know that you was looking up a quote earlier before we came into the show. What were you looking at?
Yeah, it was talking about how personal branding is all about discovering what makes you special and then communicating it to the right people. The key word is right people.
Yeah.
And through multiple channels.
Yeah.
So figuring out what makes you discovering what makes you special, then communicating it to the right people through multiple channels.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to build a brand, and branding means that you can't keep it to yourself, you got to get it out. So the different channels I would assume are face-to-face contact, networking, social media, and all of that. So I just wanted to point that out. So figure out what you do and what you do great.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to back up and get into. You gotta separate yourself from everybody else. If you look like everybody else, if you talk like everybody else, then I'm gonna assume that you do the same thing as everybody else. What makes you different?
Or like how you always say, I like how you put it. solve a problem
right
in a very unique way.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that will further help you separate yourself.
Absolutely. If everybody else is trying to solve this problem, if everybody else is trying to be an artist, or if everybody else is trying to be whatever the case may be, what makes you different? What makes you unique about the way that you solve that problem? KJ,
Right.
go ahead. You have something.
But no, I was just going to kind of piggyback off of that, man. I was reading Forbes. I read a lot of Forbes magazines.
Yeah.
I'm sent to my office and everything.
For sure.
And they had some tips in Forbes. I think it was beneficial to what we're talking about today.
All right, let's hear it.
It's called 7 Things You Can Do to Build an Awesome Personal Brand. The first thing is what you mentioned. Start thinking of yourself as a brand.
Yep.
You got to start thinking. You have to get your mindset right to say, hey, I am a brand.
And that's the most important one, KJ. I think. I don't mean to cut you off. That's the most important one. A lot of times people think, well, if I want to start a business, then my business is the brand, but I get to do whatever I want. It's not like that. A lot of times people know you way more than that, than they know your business.
And guess what? If I don't know, like, or trust you,
yeah,
and of who you are, then I'm not gonna support your
I
business.
ain't gonna support your
and it happens
initiatives
all the time, especially in an
They go
intimate city
together.
like Chattanooga. Everybody knows we went 5 degrees of separation in
Right,
the city.
right.
So you have to just kind of keep that in mind, that is very important, because if people don't know, like, or trust you, they're not going to do business.
Right, because that's where it begins. Before it really blows up and you start doing business in multiple cities and all of that kind of stuff, the first question people are going to ask is, well, who owns that business? Who started it or whatever? Oh, that person started? Oh, man, it's probably something dope. Let's invest in that one. Let's check it out. Go ahead, Kate. I know you have more points.
No, it's cool. It's cool. What people don't know either is you can, your name. You can be a business or a brand yourself.
Exactly.
You can go get your name. Hey, I'm Kevin Love. I can go say, hey, I want my business to be Kevin Love.
Right.
And I can go and throw down the foul for the
Tanisha Urban Show.
Woo!
Check
Shout
me
out to the
at 4:30.
Tanisha Urban Show.
Yeah,
Shameless plug.
Speaking of Tanisha Urban Show, the next point was audit your online presence. So you got to, be able to understand, what you're doing online.
Yeah.
So if you're on there, you got club pictures all over your Facebook page.
Stepping on so many toes
And
right
so
now.
you gotta audit that. You gotta move some of their content, man.
Yeah.
Third step was securing a personal website.
Yeah.
The website now is kind of like your resume. Like people online all the time.
You gotta have it. You gotta have it. A
You
Facebook page just ain't enough.
Yeah.
You can't just have a
I
Facebook
I need
page.
to move beyond the fan
You gonna have
page.
to. Hey, you got to move beyond that fan page. You got to. Hey, this 2016. You got to embrace that digital world,
But it's
man.
free,
You got to
know what I'm
embrace that
saying?
digital world. You got to invest in yourself. Whatever, how much that
All right.
website gonna cost you, you need to go
Challenge
ahead
accepted.
and invest in that. And AJ, I mean not AJ, KJ. Tell me that second point again. Repeat that second point for me if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, the second point was audit your online presence.
That I think that a lot of times that can be a struggle for people. I won't name the person of this, but I was on my Facebook feed the other day, and this person's trying to start a business and that kind of stuff, and they was just saying some kind of harsh political comments and that kind of stuff, And people take their politics very seriously. And people take their religion very seriously. And people take their kids very seriously. Those are 3 things that you got to be careful what you say when it comes to those 3 things. Yeah. And so I honestly was kind of turned off by the comment that they were making. And that's just not good for business when you try to get in there.
I was telling that to a friend just this week. It's so funny that we have this conversation that you have to understand that when you have a personal brand, even on social media, you have to kind of audit what you say and what you put out there.
Exactly.
You have to kind of have a filter,
Yeah.
because even though that might be how you feel and you're entitled to your own opinion, when you become a public figure or a brand, you can't put it out there. You got to keep that within your circle.
Not everything is appropriate to be on a public forum, man. Sometimes you have to just say stuff within closed circles.
That's right.
It may be cool to say that with your friends, or it may be cool to say that around dinner with your family and that kind of stuff. But when you start putting that stuff out on social media, a lot of times that stuff lives forever.
It never
You know what I'm
dies.
saying? And that stuff can kind of come back to bite you. I've seen people who've been on huge waves that's been doing really well, and that their business is tanked, or they got removed from their business because of their personal brand, because of the things that they were putting out on social media just weren't healthy.
Well, I was going to say, too, man, it's not even just being an entrepreneur. Like, even in jobs. Like, I interned in HR back when I was in college.
Yeah.
And so many things that they did.
Those emails get people caught up.
No, they checked all your social media. They checked the social media. So, let's say you apply to Tanisha Urban, and you apply for a job. And so, what we did is we went and looked at your Facebook, and we looked at all your social media outlets to see what type of content you got on there, because you want to be representing that company.
Right.
And so if you represent, they see it, you up there with, bold pictures and
Yeah.
you know your content is
on your
not
Twitter,
only the pictures. Let me get to the language. If you're cussing in your statuses and using just bad language, like just bad grammar and all that's not a good look.
Yeah, not a good look at all. So not just being a business owner, just even in business, even in the corporate world, you got to watch what you're doing because you're not only representing yourself now, but you're representing the company. So,
Tanisha,
they got people to watch it. Trust me.
They do. They hire people to do that. Tanisha is what we like to call a corporate innovator. She climbed. I thought you would. She has climbed the corporate ladder in a lot of different ways. She interviews very well, as she was talking about the last time. But you have to think, Tanisha's not putting on her social media page just ridiculous things. Now, when we cut and we don't go and we're not on air, me, Tanisha, and KJ, we're gonna cut up. We're gonna say some wild stuff that we're not gonna say on air, and that's cool. Because we human.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's okay to joke and to play and to have fun. But when you start putting that stuff out on a public forum for people to watch, and you could offend people. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you're gonna be a corporate innovator, you still represent somebody else's brand, right? And so if you're gonna come work for my brand and you're gonna be under my brand's umbrella, I can't have that foolishness. I don't want somebody being like, "Oh man, did you see your employee talking bad about you? Did you see your employee, talking about this and that?" You got to be able to not be mindful of that. And I'm not saying that don't have fun on social media because it's cool. I get it and I understand. But at the end of the day, how important is it? Is it worth you not being able to get that job or that opportunity? Is you voicing this, how strong you feel about a particular person or a particular situation gonna affect? Are you willing to allow that to affect everything else that you're working for? You got to be mindful of those things.
And I just want to add, just be mindful that in 2016, people are easily offended.
Yeah.
So just think about that. Think about that before you put the post or before you put anything on a public forum.
So speaking of websites, I know we told Tanisha that she needs to get off that Facebook page and go ahead and pull the plug on that website. One of our sponsors, Ben Schnell, is a web developer, and he is awesome with building websites. So for anybody out there who's looking to get a website built, I definitely recommend hitting up Ben. You can reach him at 423-619-3528 or shoot him an email. It's Ben at SCHNELL.io, and that's the same for his website as well. If you want to check out his body of work, just go to Schnell.io, and that's spelled SCHNELL.io. He does great websites. Probably work with you if you tell him that you heard about us on the Hustle Radio Show. He works with a lot of small businesses and things of that nature. So if you're looking to get a website done, I definitely recommend that you hit up Ben. He does fantastic work. All right. Oh, and by the way, follow us on our social media outlets. We definitely gotta make sure that you know our social media outlets. For Instagram, for Facebook, and for Twitter, it's all the same. It's the Hustle Radio. And if you have a topic or if you want to be a sponsor for the show, just email us at thehustleradioshow@gmail.com. Again, that's thehustleradioshow@gmail.com. All right, let's take it back to KJ so he can continue to give us the points for the list. KJ, what was number 3? I think I interrupted you on point 3.
Oh, yeah, it's cool, man. It's a good conversation. But number 3 was a secure personal website.
Okay,
so
that's right.
Personal website, so we kind of hit that topic. Number 4 was find ways to produce value.
That's a great one.
That's that one.
That's a great one.
That
what
one.
Is your value added? What are you bringing to the table?
That's right. That's right. Because like for me, I try to take pride in my personal brand. If y'all follow me on my social media stuff, I'm probably talking about hustle on one out of the 4 things that I'm posting. Because that's my brand. That's my bread and butter. That's what I live by. I try to talk it and I try to live it. And so where that value comes in, I can't just be blowing smoke. I can't just be telling people to hustle, and then when they look at my life, they don't see me doing it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to provide that value, and you also got to be able to tell people how. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just tell people to, all right, go out and be great. Well, how? You know what I'm saying? Like all right, okay, I'm gonna go out and be great, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to tell people some of those concrete steps on how to be able to get there and provide value to their lives. And so whether it's your from a personal standpoint or your business, if you're not providing value, then why would I shop with you?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All right, the next one was associate with other strong brands.
Well, I like the brands that are in the studio today.
Woo!
I
Charged
think we're doing
up.
all right with that one.
Yeah. You know what? One tip that I would give people for doing that, if you don't have a strong following, then find a brand that has a strong following. So for me, I think it was the first episode where we talked about fake hustling. That was promoted on Hustle and Grind's Instagram and Twitter and their blogs and all that kind of stuff. The reason why I did that is because they have more followers than I have. Right? And so doing a guest blog with somebody or connecting with somebody who has a larger following than you or already has a recognized brand is just going to further be able to lift your own personal brand, and it's going to make people feel like, all right, well, if Hustle and Grind is willing to put their neck out for this particular brand, it must be legit. It's gonna legitimize that brand. And so if you know somebody that you already know, like, and trust, and you know that they have a strong following, reach out to them and be like, yo, can we work together? Can we do something together? Let's do a vlog together. Let's do a show together. Let's do an interview together. Let's do, whatever. Yeah. Tanisha was talking about doing an interview with me earlier before the show, on her show, on the Tanisha Radio show. Another shameless plug for T.
Appreciate that. Today at 4:30.
But that's just how it goes. That's really important to attach yourself to another well-recognized brand.
All right, one more guy here is reinvent. You gotta be able to reinvent.
What does that mean, reinvent?
Reinvent. So let's say, for instance, you started a brand. The brand isn't, taking off like you wanted to take off.
How to reinvent yourself.
You gotta be able to do that. Yeah.
You gotta be able to. Most of the successful people done it. I don't know if people are familiar with Mark Cuban, but Mark Cuban, the Dallas Mavericks owner.
Yeah.
He had to reinvent himself. He was a tech guy.
Yeah.
So he, his style wasn't, he was a tech guy. Nothing against tech guys.
Right.
My best friend is a tech guy.
Right.
But he had to reinvent himself because he was in the public eye when he bought the team.
Right.
And so he kind of switched his image up a little bit.
That's what the church people call. There has to be a stretching. That's when what causes you to stretch, for you to get uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and that really makes you kind of tap into that creative side.
Yeah.
Most people are afraid to reinvent themselves because they content with the way they've been doing things for so long.
Yeah.
It's kind of like scary to people.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to do this. Like, you can change your hair color, you can cut your hair a different color, but you're afraid to do something that's going to benefit your brand anymore.
Right.
To me, this should be a no-brainer.
Yeah.
If you're looking to be successful in a way, you're going to look at all the revenues and opportunities that's going to get you to the point to be successful.
That's right.
I think people just get intimidated by the entire process. And like my grandfather used to say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So going back to your original quote that we started the show with, what was it? Believe it, write it down.
Think it into existence.
Think it one. That's step one. Speak it. That's two. Write it. That's three. And then work it. And when you do that, it will come together. But you have to have a plan, and you gotta, take it step by step.
Yeah, and you gotta be willing to pivot. That was one of the things with the last point. You know what I'm saying? Tanisha Wiley. Hey, y'all ain't in the studio right now, but man, she have a little dance with it and everything. Swerve and pivot. Hey, we're gonna start on. We're gonna make a whole song, and now people all over the country gonna be doing the swerve and the pivot. But like, you gotta be willing to pivot. If you see things aren't going well, or if you see that you're digging yourself a hole, the fastest way to get out of that hole, stop digging. Stop digging. Some people just don't know when to stop. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to be able to take an honest look at what's going on around you. Be like, you know what? All right, I need to chill. I need to do something a little bit different. And like, when it comes to personal brand, for me, like, I'm never gonna shave my beard. I'm never gonna stop wearing hats. You know why? Because that's a part of my brand. If I walked around with just a little mustache or something and no hat, and start wearing glasses or something like that, that's people not gonna be able to be associated with me. It's not gonna add up. So I'm not saying that you have to have a beard and a hat. Please don't, because I kind of take pride in that brand. But figure out something that's gonna also physically make you. I know a partner of mine that wears bow ties. He always wears bow ties. That's no matter what, he wears bow ties. And so even if you can't remember his name, I'm like, oh, hey, y'all, somebody tell me, who is the dude really smart, wears the bow tie? Someone like, oh, that's such and such.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all, who's the black dude always talking about hustling, the beard, the hat? Oh, James, that's James. You know what I'm saying? So find ways to it can be little subtle ways to separate yourself. A lot of times I cuss in my stuff. If you look on social media, when I go on my rants or whatever, sometimes I curse. But I work for myself, and I make that a part of my brand. Now, I don't curse in such a way where I'm going to offend somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like sometimes when I curse,
base,
that drives that. I feel like I drive my points home a little bit more. And so you got to know who your target audience is. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Know who your target audience is. If you're trying to work in corporate America and be a corporate innovator, that's cool. But maybe a beard and a hat just ain't the way to go for that. At enterprise, if you're trying to climb the ladder at enterprise, you can't even have no facial hair at all. So you have to pivot if that's the case. But sometimes people aren't willing to do that.
Pivot. And also just I have a lot of experience of reinventing myself. You know, not reinvent myself, but just changing up my brand. In the last couple of years, I've made many transitions, even from when my radio show first started. I was on something else totally different than what I'm on now. I was like on a whole.
You mean as far as the content?
As far as the content, like we started off with more like gossip comments, you know, down low men, things like that. But then midway, I was like, I had to pivot and swerve, and I said, wait a minute, let me be true to my brand. I really wanted to make sure that I'm informing and empowering. Because you probably
weren't getting the following that you wanted.
No, I wasn't. I didn't know what I wanted. I had put myself out there, but I hadn't taken the time to think about it, write it down. It was just kind of like something I just got into.
Right.
So I had to stop. But I just want to speak to the audience and let them know, don't be afraid of change and be willing to embrace that. And it's okay to reinvent yourself because once you do it and you got what you have, you're going to be carving your own lane and people will get that. And once you're consistent and disciplined about it, 2 years in now, you know, I have a following now, and I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to, like, just, you know, feel my way through it. So don't be afraid to step out there and switch it up. So in saying that, so if you want to get your, change up your image and start wearing suits, cut out the beard, as long as you're disciplined and consistent with it, people they're going to switch it up right with you.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think the Vans and the beard and the hats, man, that's kind of my thing. I think I built too much of a following now.
So you're gonna be doing that 10 years later. You're gonna have the hat.
10 years later, I'm keeping it going strong. Now, I don't know. I think it just depends. You know, right now, that's what works for me, and I have the following that I want.
I'm just teasing. You know what I'm saying? Beards are in. So they said beards can replace the 6-pack.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about because I done put on some weight too. I'm 205, man. That boy done got a little bit heavy. Too much, you know, turkey and dressing over the holidays, all that kind of stuff. That came back to bite me in the butt. So
I see you this week. Did I see you?
Watch out.
Oh, okay. I saw you on TV.
I was at the Cavs game. Shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They had a great win over the Phoenix Suns last week. I was blessed to be able to be there. Shout out to the folks over at Rock Ventures for inviting me out to the Cavs game. It was a really good experience to be able to chop it up with those guys and watch the game and all that kind of stuff. LeBron is huge and that close up. And those guys, I have a whole other respect for their talent, man. When you see how fast they are and how physical that game is, man, you have a whole lot of respect for those guys. And so whether you're an athlete, whether you're an artist, whether you're an entrepreneur, your brand is really important. Speaking of athletes, I know a lot of athletes that's been kicked out of leagues before for the things that they've said on social media. I know some college players that will get on Twitter and rant about their coach or rant about how the team is losing and then lose their scholarship. You know what I'm saying? And so you think you're keeping it real, but that's when, as Dave Chappelle says, that's when keeping it real goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be able to be mindful of what's going on around you. All right. And so that's all the time that we have for today. I know the Hustle Radio Show always goes by so quick. 30 minutes is a really quick show. But some of the points that I want to just continue to drive home and want to leave y'all with, your personal brand can affect your bottom line. It can affect how much money that you make. And so before you hit post on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, make sure that everything that you're putting out there for the world to see matches up with what you want your personal brand to be. All right? And so as always, start doing, keep going. Follow us on all of our social media outlets, The Hustle Radio, at The Hustle Radio. And if you want to email us, hit us up on thehustleradioshow@gmail.com. That's all the time that we got for today.